We're back to record the third message of the Be the Master of Your Life. Change your mindset. Think and operate like top wealthy leaders. The way they think and the way they see themselves. So, be the master of your life, or be the master of your faith. There is a saying that says, great leaders do not set to be a leader. They set out to make a difference. It's never about the role, always about the goals they set. I did part one of this program, and I was telling a tragedy situation that happened to me in 2003. Latter part of 2003 started just before the end of 2003, and the actual episode took place 2004 January the 3rd or January the 4th. I think January the 4th. That was when I found my voice. Not only that I found my voice, I began to know who I am. It was the most painful decision that I have to have or take in my life. And it's a very common situation I find myself in it. Separation leading to a divorce. And the story is so pathetic. I share in my first video. So I'm just capping it, I'm recapping it before I go on with my message, which I want to give to you. That no matter what situation you find yourself in it, you can either use it to catapult you to success, or you can drown yourself in sadness and die. The choice is yours. 99, sometimes 85%, don't let me say 99% because that is a big percentage, of people allow situations like this destroy them for life. What the devil meant for evil, if you change your mind and you take control over your life and you allow God to take care of it, God will turn it around for your good. It has happened to me before. I don't know what you're going through right now. Maybe that's why God wants me to share this story so bad. I have never shared this story in anywhere since 2004. This incident happened. I have never ever talked about it, share with no man. But God told me that I should share this situation with everyone that I'm about to communicate with, because there are you are the master of your own life, and you are the master of your own fate. You sit at the driving seat and you drive your own life. Nobody should have power over your life. But we intend to give our power to people. We allow people's opinion, people's suggestions overrule or override our strength, the power we have. I never allow that circumstance to dictate my future. It was a hard situation. Don't get me wrong. Don't make no mistake. Anybody who has gone through divorce can attest to this. Especially when you are a woman, it's like your whole life, it's like you die. And especially when you have worked your whole life to sustain a man, and he got up and walked out of you, that he couldn't explain why he's doing what he's doing. It's not something you can wrestle with, or you can wrap your mind around it, because it's not something you can, you can, up to today. And it was my valley of decision. Just like the Bible says, it was my valley of decision. I came face to face with my life. I came to the one junction, my eventful year. In everyone's life, every 9 years you have eventful year. That something tragic will happen to you, depends upon what it is. But that's the time you also have to be calm, look up to God, and make a decision, a serious decision. 99% people make the wrong decision. Some people end up drinking. I know a girlfriend of mine who went through this, and she started drinking wine, and she ended up become drunkard. Every night she would drink a wine and wine herself to bed, trying to cover up the pain. But the pain won't go away when you choose that route. You can only choose a route that lifts your, what we call it, energy high. When you get into this situation, your energy go low. Your vibration drop. And if you are not careful, you can never connect into the source, which gives you power to do things you do in life. And when my girlfriend energy dropped, she found herself drinking. She drank herself to death. And when I met her, it was too late. And I told her my story. She said, "What? You talk to?" I said, "Yeah, he's my best friend. He's my best friend. Every year, we send happy birthday, we talk to each other. That's it. I cannot hold bitterness against him to bind myself. If I have done that, I will never be who I am today. If I have held bitterness and resentment against him, I would have cheated myself. He would have been smiling because the enemy used him to achieve something that anybody who is behind this decision would have said, "Look, you see, we told you she was not going to amount to nothing." But I tell you what, when I refused, allow the enemy take me down, I took the enemy up. And I decided, not me. I'm not going to allow you to destroy my future and abort the purpose of God in my life. I will not allow you to abort it. That was what the devil was up to. Had I not taken this decision to go internally and look into myself, what can I do to change the predicament that I find myself in it at that time? Having nobody, spend all my money, my time to take care of this, my husband. In university, graduated in fine colors, and walk away. Left me broke, in debt, credit card over 40,000 US dollars. He walked away and left it. Car I just bought. He walked away, left that debt on me. Household debt. He just took off. He took off and left me in a mess. I have to shut down everything what we were doing. The ministry, the business. I have to shut it down. Not because I want to do it, but just because I don't want to give the enemy a chance in my life. Number one, if I stay where we were in a top position. We were community leaders. People look up to us. We were involved in the community building and everything in Houston that time. So we were public figures. And here, my husband walked away from me. And me being in a spotlight at that time. Everywhere, because we were always together. I never show up in any meeting or anywhere without my husband. He's with me. And we both were strong community leaders. And when he walked away, how can you go to a program and people ask you, where is your husband? What are you going to say? And I'm not a person that I want to destroy people's character. No. I've never built my life like that. I'd rather say nothing. If you go out and you do whatever you do and you expose yourself, that is on you. But for me, nobody will hear from my mouth talking negative about anybody. I try not to do it. Never. I will hold my peace and let the Lord fight my battle for me. So number one, I don't want to destroy his image, his reputation. The way people know him, very intelligent, very respectable, very quiet. And he's a good man. He was a good man. He won't hurt a roach or an ant. He has never displayed any negative attitude to anybody, not even me. We lived 12 years together. 2 years as friends. We married 10 years. Spent 7 of those years taking care of him in college. 3 years we moved to Houston from Louisiana to Houston to find a good job. We got involved in the ministry. 1999, I traveled to Tanzania as a first woman of God to preach in Tanzania. I was locked up in the airport for 8 hours. The late president Mafuji or whatever the name is, sorry. he has just elected person. He has just been elected into government position. Makafori. Yes, that's the name. President Makafori. President Makafori has just been elected as a member of parliament in 1999. And I arrived in Dar es Salaam airport, and they locked me up because that time it was Muslim regime that ruling and women don't talk. And I have no idea. I was in the airport for 8 hours, and somebody picked a phone and called President Magufuli that time. And President Magufuli picked a phone and called the airport and told them to release me from the airport and go and do what I want to do. I met that man of God that time, and I never returned back to Dar es Salaam anymore. There was nothing about a woman. And I remember from the airport, they took me straight to the church where I was going to minister. And I went there and ministered. President Magufuli came into the meeting. He attended the meeting. He was a very nice young man. And I believe I prayed for him that time. Magufuli, yeah. He came to the meeting. He visited me. And I prayed for him. I spent 2 weeks in Dar es Salaam. When I left Dar es Salaam, I flew down to Nairobi, Kenya. I was in Nairobi for 2 weeks. Then from Nairobi, I flew down to Uganda, Kampala, and spent 2 weeks in Kampala. 6 weeks in East Africa that God sent me to go and work. That time there was a conflict between Tanzania, Kenya, and Uganda. Rebel fighting. God took me there. Ebola was killing people in Uganda. When I got there, evangelist, okay, I will remember his name. He's in Toronto. Peter Wegri was doing a crusade there. And I joined them. In force and finished the crusade. The night before the crusade was about to finish, we called for prayer to stop Ebola. And we prayed. And that day, God answered our prayer. Ebola stopped in Uganda and never been back in Uganda till today. That is what I'm talking, the power of God. The power of God that hit people in Jomo Kenyatta Conference Center. That trip, I still have impact. I met a woman in Saskatoon that was at that meeting. This is what God sent me to do in East Africa in 1999. And the devil was so mad. So when I came back home and trying to build my ministry, the devil was able to influence my husband and mess my husband's mind up. In 2003, he got up and walked out of his own holy matrimony home. If today he has found something to talk, wrap his head around it, why he walked out of his house, I don't know. But one thing that I know, that what the devil meant for evil, God turned it around for my good. Was it the purpose of God for him to just walk out of my life? I don't know. But because of what he did, I found out who I am. Tonight, I want to tell you, whatever circumstance you are going through in your life, you are not going to make it to the other side if you do not sit yourself down to find out who you are. You have to identify yourself in order to be able to build your future to success. You need to find out who you are. If you don't find out who you are not going to succeed, my dear. You are not going to succeed if you don't find out who you are. My question to you tonight, do you know who you are? Do you know who you are? Do you have an intimacy relationship with your God? Have you sold out for Him? I have sold out for God for a long time. Could you imagine, like I shared in my other video, when I was on my way home, the day my husband ran away and left me in debt. As I was driving down, as soon as I dropped the kids from the outreach and coming home, I heard a voice telling me, it was so clear, when you get home and your husband is gone, what are you going to do? And I just rebuked that voice. We Christian believers, that's what we do. I said, get thee behind me, Satan. Don't speak any negative in my mind. The voice kept quiet. I drove all the way to the parking lot where our condo is. We have 2 private parking spots. When I got there, the car that he was using was not there. And then we have another old Toyota, that we park it inside the condo. There's an extra parking lot, so that one was there. But the van, that was our old van that is being paid off, so there's no debt on it, but it's still strong. It works so hard. But I didn't see the van he's using, because a month before doing this, he has pre-planned this thing in his mind, what he was about to do. So he talked me into going to buy a brand new van, a used van, but more stronger and newer, so he can use the free van to do what he wants to do. And a husband and wife, I never thought anything evil was going through his mind. I have no idea. So I went and I got the car. So we had 2 vans, because we got 30 children who are from disadvantaged home. Their moms and family are on welfare, and some of them are drug homes. And we took these children and we were training them. We trained them to be choir members. They sing very well. We were really molding these children, and their family loved the job we were doing too. Every Saturday we go, we have a t-shirt, and our non-profit organization name was Hope for You. So we encourage them and we tell the children, there is hope for you. So we pick them up and we take them to community and teach them how to evangelize, how to talk to their peers. We started 6. By the time the year ends, we got 30 kids under our care. And every Saturday, my husband would take the van and go and take about 15 of them, and I would take 15 of them. We have a geographical location where we split the area into 2. He would take his group to the northern side of the area where our ministry is situated, and then I would take them to the south, the southern part, and then we take 15 children with me. We go, We evangelize with children, their peers. And we carry sweets and things that we go on Saturday, we share with the children. They come around, we play ball, and then we give them those gifts. And then the children witness to them. So Sunday morning, parents who can call us and we pick those kids up and bring them to church. After church service, we drop all of them. We have 2 sets of children, the ones that we have trained and the visitors. After church service, we keep our trained ones in the building for refreshment, and then we go and drop those we pick, the brand new ones, which is the visitors, and we drop all of them in their homes. Make sure that they are at home peacefully before we come back and then load our old army, and then we take them to their homes and we drop all of them before our day is over. So we are in a full-time ministry. He was the pastor for the youth and the children. He is in charge of the children's ministry in the church. He is the papa of the house. And this man walked away from all this and left me in the middle of nowhere with no warning, no sign. He just took off. So when a solution becomes a problem, what do? That is one of my books that I have written. I have 12 books, which I'm believing God to get money and publish all of them. I published 5 of them, and I haven't been able to do a lot of circulation, but I'm hoping God will bless me that I will be able to publish the remaining books, which is very, very powerful books, because my life, I am now yet to write my autobiography, my life's journey, my life journey of faith. But I have 12 books already written, and some has been circulated before. The other day, one of the young girls that work for me, she said, can I have a copy of your book when a solution become a problem? What do? I say, yes, you know that. I can get you one. So when you come into this situation and when a solution become a problem, my husband was my solution. We were working together. We were a team. And then one day he took off and he became a problem. What do? I'm asking you. What do? Do you sit down and have a pity party and cry yourself out to death? Or you comfort yourself. You turn into eternal being and search your soul. What did I do wrong? Number 1, accept responsibilities. Accept whatever that you find yourself convincing that you are wrong. Accept it. Forgive yourself. Apologize to God. You can ask the why, but when you ask the why, sit down and internalize yourself. Go deep down in you and take responsibilities. Also be accountable. Be accountable for every action, whether good or bad or ugly. Have accountability. Search, search, and see. This is what I do. This is what I did. I couldn't find anything I have done wrong in my heart. But yet I went and asked him to forgive me. If I have done anything wrong against him, he should forgive me. I chased him up. The time I knew when he was, I drove 13 hours, 13 to 14 hours from Houston, Texas, if you know United States very well, to Atlanta, Georgia, non-stop. I did not, the only thing I stopped to do is to buy gas. Finished. I drove a whole day and a whole night and arrived in Atlanta, Georgia early in the morning. Yes, all night I drove. And I went and looked for him because I want to know why, what happened. Why he couldn't sit down and talk things out with me. Why did he have to do that? When I went, I was told since he came into the place, he's been crying all day. 3 days he's been in a room mourning and groaning because he knew what he has done is wrong. You don't treat somebody who help you to succeed like that. You don't treat people like that. He knew he's guilty. He knew he has done wrong. But whatever forces that push him to do that, that is what I don't know. And that is what I do not want. That forces to get power over me. So I have to rise up above that forces that was able to push him to do such a thing he did. It was his choice. And I don't want to be part of his choice. Many a times we do not take step back and allow ourselves be exempt from somebody's wrongdoing. If you are with me and you take a decision to do wrong thing, I'm not going to go along with you. Sorry, my dear, I will never go along with you. You are on your own. Because whatever decision we make in life, we are responsible for the repercussions and the impact and the effect of it. Because I have learned in my studies, there is no cause without effect. Yes. In my studies, I learned very well. And the old wise people say there is no smoke without a fire. Correct. So when you make a decision in life, or when you are with somebody and the person decided to make a decision, do not judge the person, first of all. Second, do not allow someone's decision to determine your future. Never. 3, be accountable to yourself, your part, the part you play.